quick, and I do mean quick, update on the Big Brother 26 feeds because this twist has killed the feeds, as I talked about in my last video on Friday. I don't know how every season the producers can come up with a twist that literally makes the feeds unwatchable, but here we are again. Just like last season, I do compare this week to the zombie twist last season, at least in terms of the feeds or where the feeds are concerned. Last season, the zombie twist killed the feeds because nobody was going home that week, so it made for very boring viewing. This season, everybody's stuck outside, but there's not a lot of room to talk, so nobody could actually top game. So we're going 3 days now with very little game talk. And if we do get game talk, they might cut the feeds. And if we do get a little game talk, they do their little stupid, they must dance or sing outside. Horrific twist. I'm sure this was a Grodner or Meehan specialty because only they know how to mess up a perfectly good season. For once, they actually had a good season going. Leave it to a Big Brother twist to make that the opposite and now make the season go from almost a top tier season to now mid tier at best. I think this, if they wanted a twist to kill the viewing experience, congratulations, because I don't have a lot to update because A, the feeds are unwatchable and who wants to watch the shit feeds, but B, even if I'm sitting there watching feeds, it's not like we're going to hear a lot of game talk because you can't talk game with this twist stuck in the backyard with nowhere to talk. So I guess next we'll talk about the convoluted twist with the veto. So now we have a convoluted twist on top of an already unwatchable twist. Yay. So there's two vetoes, or is there two vetoes? Who knows? Angela has the real veto, and now Leah has a veto where it's very impossible to understand what it actually means or what actually she has to do this week. She had a conversation with Cam yesterday that she has to either play a game first so that the veto can be used. Like, it's unclear if Angela could even use the veto unless Leah can win some sort of carnival game, probably. But they also speculated that maybe Leah's veto randomly makes someone safe from being on the block, and then Angela could use the veto. But we don't actually know for sure if Angela can use the veto if Leah doesn't do her game at all. So say Leah chooses to not play her veto, then Angela can't use her veto. I don't know. Very convoluted, very stupid as well, in my opinion. If it is two vetoes that can be used, that's going to annoy me even more because then that just saves Leah from her disastrous week in a way almost, because then she has to be forced to put up T-Core and Chelsea on the block, which I think will be even more convoluted. And it doesn't make me think Leah's a great player because she's forced into a move that production is forcing her into. So I don't like that either. And if a twist, a convoluted twist on top of a terrible viewer experience twist that is the stupid carnival shit, if that is the week that gets Chelsea out, who has been the best player, that's going to piss me off too. So either way, not only is Leah in a lose-lose situation, I feel like they've put the viewers in a lose-lose situation because they don't know how to produce a damn good twist. They could have just left the game as is. We didn't need this twist. Why did they even have to add a new twist for the second half of the season? Or that's not even the second half. The last third of the season. Why do this? I will never know why these shows think they have to have a twist at every part of the season, but here we are. So yeah, it's not a good twist. The feeds are unwatchable. Chemo, I guess today we could say he finally clocked into the game for the first time in like 2.5 weeks and tried to save himself with Leah while also trying to save T-Core. Yay. I mean, yay. We could be happy that Chemo is playing the game for the first time in 3 weeks. I don't know. Angela winning another veto. I suppose I'm supposed to be impressed with Angela's game. I'm not. I still go back and forth with, is she actually playing a good game? She's not. I know Angela stands want us to think she's the second coming of a great player, when the fact of the matter is her social game has been So dire that the only reason so many vetoes have been used on her is because her social game is so dire, and people don't mind going to the end of this game with her. We see this on Survivor many, many, many times where they take a goat to the end because they can beat them in the end. It's one of the reasons Survivor went from two players make the end to three players make the end to make the final vote more exciting. And yeah, sometimes a goat gets dragged to the end and still wins because of a bitter jury or something. I'm looking at you, Natalie White. That has happened on Survivor on occasion. But I don't see who the jury can be more bitter against with Angela sitting next to them. I've said this sometimes this season. Maybe Angela can make the end and actually have this great final speech that wins the game and really encapsulates her game. I appreciate that Angela has played hard, but I'm not going to sit here and call her this great player just because she's had three vetoes used on her and she won one now. When the reason those three vetoes were used on her was more about how shit her social game is. Leah as HOH too. I mean, she's taking this twist well because she's the HOH and she doesn't get a real HOH room. She doesn't get a real HOH basket. So good on Leah for not only locking in on the competitions, but taking this stupid twist on the chin. Like I said, though, if the twist helps her be able to put both T-Core and Chelsea on the block because there's two vetoes, it's way too convoluted for me. And I think that if that's the reason Chelsea goes home, who's been a good player, I'm going to be annoyed because for once we actually have everyone playing their own games, but then the best player gets taken out by a convoluted production twist that also is bad feeds. I won't love that. So I still think Leo's HOH, from what I understand of the twist, but it's very convoluted. And the fact that Leah herself doesn't actually understand her own veto is a flaw with production as well. Just a lot of flaws this week going on in this game. So Leah doesn't even know how her own thing works. My best guess is that she has to do something with her veto in order for Angela's veto to actually be able to come into play. It seems like Leah wants to use her veto so that Angela can use her veto. If Leah's idea though is still to put Chelsea on the block, Chelsea's not going home against Chemo. So she has to put Chelsea against Rubina, I guess, and then maybe Chelsea actually does go home in that scenario. T-Core would be the swing vote, I guess, in that scenario. Because I think Chemo would keep Rubina, and I think Angela would keep Rubina and want Chelsea to go. Obviously, MJ and Cam are going to keep Chelsea. T-Core is very close to both Rubina and Chelsea, so that's a hard situation for T-Core. I don't think T-Core herself, I mean, for the past week and a half, has been playing a great game either. Look, I spent a lot of time this season talking up T-Core's moves because most people wouldn't because they're stupid. However, for the past week and a half, I will say T-Core's been not doing as well socially. I don't like how comfortable she can be some days in thinking that she's just going to be able to always have the numbers on her side, or sitting next to Chemo and Rubina talking about how she's never been on the block when they've been on the block so much. I don't know if that is exactly great social play. So some negatives to T-Core there. If her backup plan is to nominate T-Core against Rubina, maybe T-Core does go home, but Leah said today in her conversation with Chemo that she doesn't want to nominate T-Core. So in my mind, Chelsea has to be her idea of who she wants to try and get out this week. There is a slight chance against Rubina. It's up to T-Core in that situation. I don't know. I don't really care is the problem because the feeds are unwatchable. I don't like the veto twists. I don't like Leah's gameplay over the past 2 weeks, even this week as HOH. She seems like she's going to be forced into a move because of production's twists. Her initial nominees are still leaving me scratching my head because now she is going to annoy everybody in the game rather than just playing with the trio in the first place. Chemo's talking to Leah today about they're not the only trio. There's another trio, Chelsea, MJ, Cam. I have a lot of thoughts that maybe Cam could be pushed to go up on the block this week by T-Core, but I don't know if she'll actually go with that idea. I don't know if Leah would actually go with that idea. I do think there are votes to get Cam out this week against either both Chemo or Rubina, but whatever. We'll see what happens with the veto tomorrow. I probably will only update another small update tomorrow because the feeds, not a good twist for the feeds. Just unwatchable. Producers, why do you have this kind of twist every season? It kills the momentum of the season. And sure, last year didn't have any momentum. It just sucked overall in general. But this season was going well. I don't know why they had to implement a twist like this that is feed killing, but also game killing. People can't talk game. So I don't know if this is what the production wants. Maybe they want Chelsea out of the game, and this is the only way they can take a good player like Chelsea out of the game by having a convoluted veto twist when Chelsea also cannot talk game too much to sway things. I don't know. Thumbs down.